The Olympians have made it to the promised land. We're at the Honda Center for the CIF Southern Section Toyota Championships. It's the Division IIAA Finals against the number 2 seeded Leuzinger Olympians, 25-5, winners of their last 11 in a row, against the number 1 seed Thousand Oaks Lancers, 28-2, winners of their last 18 in a row. Good afternoon from the Honda Center, along with Rufus Washington, Beto Duran, Rashawn Haylock, and the terrific Channel 22 Sports crew. I'm News Towers. And Rufus, well, I tell you what, these Olympians have finally made it to the promised land.
They finally made it, Lou, under the tutelage of head coach Reggie Morris. It's been a 7-year journey to get here. It started 7 years ago with Dorrell Wright and some other guys. It's going to keep going tonight, we'd like to think, with Jerry Evans, DeLon Wright, and a whole crew that have waited a long time to get here.
And these Olympians, Rufus, have not done it the hard way. They have done it, well, by blowing everybody out by almost 28 points a game.
They absolutely have. They play great defense, and they have a great offense, because that defense that you just talked about that has a winning margin on average of 28, they're scoring 88 points on offense over this 4-game playoff run. Look for them to come close to that tonight.
While this is the first time for the Olympians, the Lancers have been here 3 times since 2002, and Beto Duran will be at the Thousand Oaks sideline.
Thousand Oaks Lancers hoping third time is a charm. They've been to the CIF title game twice, and they failed both times back in 02 and 06. They're a solid program. No real stars here, but 6'7" junior Alex Tiffin is a force down low. On defense, they love to trap, and they love playing good stifling defense. In the 48 years the school has been open, they have yet to win a CIF title in basketball. Back to you, Lou.
All right, thanks, Beto. The Leuzinger Olympians will be wearing their road red, and as usual, Rashawn Haylock will be on the sideline for the Leuzinger Olympians.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. You know, this is Leuzinger's first ever appearance in a sectional final, and you come here and you're inside the Honda Center and you look up, and behind the backboard, there's no walls. The depth perception, that's a huge key for a high school team playing in big arenas like this. I talked to Coach Reggie Morris before the game, and he said, you know what? You guys are going to have 15 to 20 minutes to get used to it. Hopefully they can get some shots up and get used to it and get into the flow. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the defense. And Donnelly Miner shared those sentiments, guys. He said defense is what we pride ourselves on. It's carried us this way all this year, and it's going to carry us today in this game, guys.
Tell you what, Rufus, thanks a lot, Rashawn. We'll be talking to you guys all game long. It's going to be a battle at the big guys and the little guys. It's going to be Jerry Evans versus Alex Tiffin, and Donnelly Miner versus Chris Carter.
Chris Carter and Lopez, but the thing is, you're right. Both of these teams, they pride themselves on their defense, and that's what's going to be interesting, whether this will be a defensive matchup or whether these teams, both of which also like to run, will be able to get out and run. That's certainly what Coach Morris and his Olympians want to do, but they also want to give this Thousand Oaks team a little taste of some of that Leuzinger defense.
All right, well, we've talked about all we can in the pregame show. It's time to tip it off here at the Honda Center. It's the Division IIAA Finals at Honda Center, and we'll have the starting lineups and the tip-off right after this. You're watching the CIF Southern Section Toyota Championships on Channel 22 Sports. Back at the Honda Center, the starting lineups for the visiting Leuzinger Olympians. Well, they'll be wearing their visiting reds anyway on a neutral court. Number 2, Jerry Evans, the 6'7" senior forward, and he's a McDonald's All-Star nominee, averaging 15.3 points a game and 7.4 rebounds to lead this team. Number 11, the captain, Larry Dennis, a 5'8" senior guard. Number 15, DeLon Wright, 44% from beyond the arc, the 6'3" junior guard. Number 24, Julian Wheeler, a 6'2" senior guard, has the most three-pointers on this team with 29. And the defensive terminator, Number 32, Donnelly Minor, the 6'2 senior guard. The Olympians are coached by Reggie Morris, assisted by Mike Crumbride, Chris Young, DJ Shady Grady, Kevin Posey, and Victor Massey. Now for the top-seeded Thousand Oaks Lancers, 28-2, 14-0, first place league in the Marmont League. Here are their starters. Number 4, James Whalen, the 6'3 junior guard, and he averages 5 assists a ball game. Number 15, their point guard, a 6'2 senior, Antonio Lopez, averaging 13 points a game. Number 32, their shooter, a 6'4 senior forward, Chad Kinji. Number 33, the captain, a 6'2 senior. His name is Chris Carter, their slashing guard. And number 34, the big guy in the middle, a 6'7 senior, averaging 13 points and 7 rebounds a game, Alex Tiffin. The Lancers are coached by Richard Endres in his 12th year, assisted by John Moniz and Bill Sanchez, and also want to thank their athletic director, Jason Klinger, for helping us out getting the information on the Lancers. And now, all of the announcements and the starting lineups and the rosters have been made, Rufus. It's time to throw everything out the window and see which team has more game today.
Well, it absolutely is, Lou. It is showtime, as they say. There's nothing else to be said, nothing else to do. It's time to play ball in just a minute. These officials are going to jump it and get this game underway. And we've got an excellent crew working tonight's game. Cornelius Brown from the Inland unit will be the referee of the contest. Working with him is Jeff Arredondo, who's in my unit, I should say, the Long Beach unit. And from the San Gabriel Valley unit is Tim Triplett.
And boy, everyone has commented on your tie tonight. It is, boy, that must be a special one at the top of the pile inside the closet there.
Well, we don't pull this one out except for special occasions. Last time I wore this was 4 years ago. Looks like that's a pretty new one you've got as well.
Oh, well, I got to keep up with you, man.
I think we all put on our Sunday best because this is a Sunday best event.
And there you see the starters here at the Honda Center, formerly known as the Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim, a terrific facility for basketball as well as hockey and, of course, concerts as well. And what an opportunity for these kids. Jerry Evans about ready to take the tip-off against Alex Tippin. He said, man, I feel like I'm in the NBA.
Opportunity of a lifetime.
Tip is won by the Lancers, and here they come. Antonio Lopez already starting to slow it down. They like to pressure you. Man-to-man defense shown by the Olympians, as they will all game long. Tiffin, his shot is short. Rebound is picked up by Carter. And James Whalen averaging 5 assists a ball game, Rufus. Now the backdoor play up and in by Antonio Lopez.
Lopez, one of the leading players for this Thousand Oaks Lancer team. Leuzinger, of course, likes to field their opponent out, so don't be surprised if they start just a little bit slow.
2-3 defense shown by the Lancers early. They like to pressure you, but right now they've gone into the zone knowing that that can really befuddle the Olympians. But they've really been patient and cracked that zone defense this year.
They absolutely did. Glendora did the same thing in the semifinal game. There you see Wheeler on the board with the follow.
Big follow, big rebound as Julian went high into the air to finish that one off. All tied up at 2. Bringing the ball up is the Lancers, and Chad Kinji also has a sophomore brother on this team. Don't know if we'll see him or not. Hopefully we won't. Chris Carter has a 3-point shot, in and out. Rebound is taken by Carter, puts it up and in. Original shot put up by Antonio Lopez.
Oh, and for Carter to be listed as 6'2", wow, he really skied to get that rebound.
Now, I was looking at all the 6-footers on this team. As a shot from the baseline won't go down. Rebound is off by the Lancers, and back they come, looking to expand their lead. No-look pass underneath to Tiffin. And we have a foul, and we're going the other way. That's a whistle.
That looks like it may have been a violation.
Some sort of a violation. Maybe stepped right in front of Reggie Morris.
Nice looking sweater, Reggie. I think everybody put on their Sunday clothes today, Lou.
That's it. Even Beto Duran looks good today. Larry Dennis, Julian Wheeler has it. Donley Minor, and his shot is blocked by Tiffin. But the rebound by Evans, actually DeLon Wright had it, gave it to Evans, and Jerry will go to the line to shoot 2.
Great interior passing by DeLon Wright. He was up at the elbow. There you see Donley Minor attempting a reverse layup. He's blocked on the play, but the ball came off to the Olympians, and DeLon Wright very unselfishly saw Jerry Evans open on the inside, went to feed him, and Jerry was fouled on the play.
Evans is 72% foul shooter, buries this one for his first point of the game. And you know what, I'm sure that through the years, as you see head coach Richard Endres for the Lancers, Evans and the rest of the Olympians have known the importance of making their foul shots. 2 points for Jerry.
They take advantage of the opportunity there as Jerry converts it to make it a square game at 4.
Lancers, Lopez brings it across, being watched by DeLon Wright. Now Whalen with it. Whalen to Lopez.
DeLon Wright draws a tough assignment of being the guy to guard Lopez.
Man open, but Jerry Evans, and let's hope that he's okay as the ball goes out of bounds, and he turned an ankle, his right ankle, and that's not good news this early on. We see it on the replay.
See it on the replay. He gets up a little bit slow. I'll bet you $1 to a donut they'll go at him. Instead, they turn over against the Lancers. That gives Donley Minor, as he pushes it up, an opportunity to look inside.
DeLon Wright with the ball fake. Now a 3-point shot from the corner. Just missed. Ball is taken by Wright. Now switched around. That's Jerry Evans for a long shot. Won't go down as Alex Tiffin with the rebound.
Good looks by the Olympians. One of the things perhaps in effect right now. Another turnover by Thousand Oaks. So this Leuzinger defense has come to play here in the first quarter already.
Now the Olympians just need to convert. Donley Minor for 3, short. Rebound is off to Whalen. And back come the Lancers. 3 turnovers early already. A long 3 by Tiffin. Buries it. Well, guess what? Alex can make it from out there too. 7-4.
Wow. That ball, they're going to say, was last handled by the Leuzinger Olympians, as the official Jeff Arredondo very emphatic with the call that it goes to Thousand Oaks.
Well, Jerry had a banged up left leg. Now his right leg is banged up. We'll keep an eye on that. Chad Kenji with it, has the ball over to Carter. Again, a steal. 4th turnover to Minor. And this one's stolen right back. Back come the Lancers with 4:17 left to go in the first quarter. 7-4 is the score. Along the baseline, stolen away, and maybe a foul on a reach-in.
Definitely is going to be a foul call this time, as Julian Wheeler come away with the steal, and one of the Lancers from Thousand Oaks decided the best he could do was to hold on. Looks like they're going to give that foul over to number 32, Chad Kenji.
Larry Dennis brings it across the line to Devontae Norton in the ball game for the first time for Reggie Morris, another one of those defensive stoppers. But what a pleasant surprise Devontae's turned to late in the season, Rufus.
Not only a defensive stopper, Lou, but also instant offense.
Devontae goes baseline, has the ball blocked away and stolen by Tiffin. Tiffin's been the monster for the Lancers so far. Antonio Lopez with the finish. And a timeout, 30 seconds called by Reggie Morris with the score 9-4 Lancers in the Division II AA playoffs.
That basket forced Coach Morris into a timeout. Wants to get his guys settled down. Again, as I said, their strategy, nothing uncommon here right now. That is to feel out their opponent, see what they're doing. I think Reggie's got it figured out, and now he wants to make sure his players know. As you see, Lopez attacking the basket there over Larry Dennis for the Dukes.
Right now, Rufus, it appears that the Lancers have the Olympians on the ropes. But with 3:38 left to go in the first quarter, Leuzinger averages 17 to the Lancers almost 17, 16.3. But let's see what happens in the second quarter, which has usually been the property of the Leuzinger Olympians.
And right now, I don't think it's as much the Lancer defense as it is this team making adjustments to this facility, which we talked about with the coach in the pregame. It can be difficult if you've never played in a facility like this as opposed to a high school gym.
The Olympians so far are being patient. They just have to wait for one to go down, as they've had some opportunities, 4 turnovers already, but none of them have been converted. Devontae Norton, 10 seconds on the shot clock now. Larry Dennis, Julian Wheeler from the corner, likes that spot, and it goes in, gets a sweet kiss off the glass. That gets the Olympians back in.
Big three-pointer by Julian Wheeler. Well, by my count, he's got 5 so far.
He does. 9 to 7, and a big 2 by Tiffin. He has 5 as well.
The big man showing he has excellent range so far.
Nice touch by Alex. It's 11 to 9. Check that, 11 to 7. Right to Evans. Look at that big spread 2-3 zone. Evans tried to get it underneath, but the pass went one way. Julian Wheeler went the other, and it's out of bounds, turned over by the Olympians. So 4 turnovers apiece.
And although that was a turnover, if you're Thousand Oaks coach, Rich Endress, you got to be a little bit concerned because Leuzinger is getting interior shots, and now they bring Overton on the court for a little extra defense and also for what he does best, and that's work the boards on the offensive end.
He is their bull in a china closet on the hardwood with 2:20 left to go in the first quarter. Whalen slashes in on the wing, won't go down. There it is, paying dividends right away as Big Will. Wheeler to Evans. Evans lost it to Whalen. Big guys trying to dribble it.
Stuck his hand in there, and that's one thing they like to do. They work on that, forcing turnovers, and they like to score off of their turnovers just like these Olympians do.
Long 3 by Whalen is short, but Alex Tiffin got it, and Overton commits the foul. Grabbing on and holding. His first personal, first team foul.
And that's one of those fouls, Lou, where you get caught more out of position than he actually committed it. His arm was in the space of the Thousand Oaks player, Tiffin, and no argument there on the foul call.
Grabbed him right by the armpit and almost drug him down. So this one will be inbounded. Right underneath the basket is Tim Tippett from the San Gabriel Valley. Hands it off. Whalen with it again. Now it's worked underneath by Lopez. That's off the mark. And Jerry Evans comes down with the rebound. Needs some help as DeLon Wright comes back there. Pressure defense by the Lancers. Devontae Norton with a long 2, a little bit long. Evans with the big rebound and put back.
And that's what you want to see. Jerry Evans with the putback. Nice shot by Devontae. Didn't get it to go, but Jerry Evans was right there.
And that's what these Olympians thrive on, is those offensive boards and putbacks. They have had such complete games. Now the pass over to Tippett, short. Rebound is off, taken by Michael Taxter underneath, and a foul underneath. It'll be 2 shots for the Lancers.
It's foul. Trying to see, well, that's one thing. We can look up at the board and see.
That's right, Donley Minor with his first, second team foul. Coming to the line to shoot 2 is Michael Taxter.
Just like the players aren't used to some of these extra little benefits here, we aren't even having to get used to it myself. One of which is having to look up at the score up above your head as opposed to looking at either end line where the score is normally posted against the wall on the scoreboard.
That's right, a big, beautiful scoreboard here at the Honda Center. Also, the Leuzinger Olympians, thank you very much, are in the NHL Ducks locker room. They got the penthouse here. They'd love to. There's Reggie Morris in his red and white Argyle sweater. That's been his trademark all season long. 12 to 9 is the score now. Overton with it, puts it up, and kind of goes, it didn't go.
Didn't go, but Overton will go to the line and shoot a pair. And if you're Thousand Oaks, I'm going to say this right now, score 12-9 as we watch the replay. Overton going in against Tiffin, and that's a good situation all the way around for the Olympians to go right at Tiffin, see if they can create some early foul trouble for him, and also get William Overton going at his game, which is playing that interior offense.
Will makes the first shot, a 66% foul shooter. Now it's a 2-point ball game at 10 to 2.
There you see their coach, Rich Endress. I want to ask you this, Lou. Do you think there's any extra pressure on this Thousand Oaks team since they've been here 3 times? This is their 3rd time. They've yet to win it. Leuzinger, this is their first time coming.
They don't know what to expect, that's for sure. But you know what? Even though the Olympians were loosey-goosey, now they're coming out to game time. The Lancers, in reading some of the articles in their newspapers, like the Acorn, it appeared that these guys are ready to go. So they've been here, was it 3 times since 2002, and Larry Dennis with the steal, and I believe there's going to be a foul, some sort of a block or something.
On the reach-in play, it's going to be a foul against Thousand Oaks. There you see the reach-in, not quite sure who they'll give it to. Had a couple of guys in the area.
Kevin Kiani in the ball game for the first time gets the first foul. Kevin, a 6'1" senior, listed as their 8th man. So they have the 2 point guards out there to the Olympians, Norton and Dennis. Skips it across. Norton does to Dennis on a mismatch with Tucker, or Taxter, I should say. Now Overton from the foul line misses it, and nice save by actually Norton. Donley Minor trying to go in on the baseline, kicks it out. DeMonte Norton goes in amongst the trees, gets it out to Overton, and the jump ball. Possession arrow faces the Olympians.
A little bit too unselfish on that play, Lou, for the Olympians. I know the great ball movement, but they passed up a couple of open shots. But I got to tell you, and there are only 2 seconds on the shot clock, by the way.
That's right, so I wonder if they know that. 18.2 on the game clock. Somebody's just going to have to get it, turn it, and shoot it. Good play by Larry Dennis to keep it alive. Goes out of bounds. It should be Olympian ball. It is.
Good call by the officials there. Thousand Oaks crowd thinks otherwise, but that one was easy.
Sure was. There's too many white shirts and not enough red shirts out there.
Now they've got last shot opportunity with 13.8 left in the quarter. And for as difficult a quarter as this has been for the Olympians offensively, they can take some consolation in the fact that they could go in the quarter with the lead here.
That's right, down by 2 points. Now Julian Wheeler running the show. 7 seconds on the game clock. Out to Overton. Overton to Wheeler. 2 seconds left to go. Minor better do something with it. Couldn't do anything with it. And the quarter ends with Donley hanging on to the ball. A rare mistake by Donley Minor, but like you said, Rufus, the Olympians looked like they were sputtering on 7 cylinders, but are only down by 2.
Right, well, they had 2 objectives on that last possession, Lou. Objective number 1 was to run the clock down. Objective number 2 was to get off the last second shot. They achieved objective number 1, which was to run the clock out. However, unfortunately, they didn't get a shot at the basket, and that's an absolute no-no.
All right, let's go to Beto Duran, and he's on the sideline with Thousand Oaks.
Not too often you see Leuzinger involved in a low-scoring affair. A lot of credit to Thousand Oaks. Speaking with their coach Ennis before the game, he said this team prides themselves on playing in-your-face defense. That's their mantra. They hold opponents to a 54-point average here in the CIF. Back to you, Lou.
All right, thanks a lot, Beto. Now let's switch benches and go to Rashawn Haylock with the Olympians.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. You know, obviously being here is great, not just for the school, but also the Lawndale community. You know, there's a lot of things going on, and Coach Reggie Morris made sure he let his team know that they're a part of it. You talk about the school, you talk about the budget cuts, the deficits in the school system. These kids are a part of that, and it's a great time for this Lawndale community to come together. You look at all the people in red behind me, people that have never come to a Leuzinger game before in their life are here today at Honda Center to support these Olympians.
Time back in here at the Honda Center, where the Olympians trail the Lancers 12 to 10. William Overton gets the rebound after the miss by Whalen. Will gets it in the corner to Wright. Kick back out to Overton. Let's see what Reggie Morris had to say to the guys. Fall-away jumper by Evans. And a rebound is fought for, taken away by the Olympians in a double dribble. Another turnover. That's the 5th one. We're all tied up on the turnovers by the Lancers.
Break for the Olympians there as the Lancers are on a fast break. That turnover helps the Olympian cause.
Evans back to Wheeler. pressure zone defense being shown by the Lancers so far working for the Lancers. Jerry Evans, though, tries to penetrate and does.
Gets inside of it again, takes the mid-range jumper, which is what you've got to do. As long as you can get inside the first 2 men on that zone, you've got a shot because there's a huge hole here that you can take advantage of.
And that ties the game up at a dozen apiece. Tiffin is double teamed. Taxter bullying his way in against Jerry Evans, and a foul called by Jeff Arredondo.
He gives that foul to Jerry Evans. That should be his first of the contest. Jerry able to make it through the first quarter without a foul, and that was good for the Olympian effort. However, the rest of it, we've got still a lot of basketball, and Jerry will need to be mindful of that.
Taxter now 2 out of 3 with 2 points. Coming in the ball game is Keel Quinn for Reggie Morris.
And now Thousand Oaks has their twin towers in with Tiffin and Taxter, both listed at 6'7" or so. That could create problems for the Olympians size-wise.
Taxter tried to get in and get that rebound, but Jerry Evans was there to pull it away. Wheeler. Now to Quinn. 6:45 left to go in the second quarter. Norton puts it up, won't go down. Rebound ripped out of the air by Taxter. Good shot by Norton, but it just didn't get the finish.
Did not get the finish that he needed on that one. Low-scoring game so far. No surprise, it was very much the same way against in the Glendora game last Friday.
Shot taken and buried. Nicely done by Chris Carter with now 4 points. They don't want to see him get hot, that's for sure. Ball dumped into Jerry Evans. Jerry is fouled by Tiffin. And for Alex, that's number 1.
It might be number 2. It's worth checking. Let's look up at the board. Because if it didn't know better, well, the board's going to show it as number 1. I had it with 1 earlier.
So Jerry Evans likes this one off the iron with 6 points. His 2 out of 3 from the foul line. It's Julian Wheeler talking to his head coach. There you see the Lancers head coach, Richard Andrews. 243 wins, 102 losses in his 12 years. Evans makes the next one with 7 points. Now it's a 2-point game, 15-13.
I think that's 4 free throws made by Jerry, if not 5. I know for sure he's converted 2 free throw opportunities.
Ball is stolen by Keel Quinn. Fast break. Here comes Wright. Up and in. Gets the nice kiss. His first bucket.
His first bucket, and the Olympians even at 15 all here in the second.
Carter tied up by Norton. Now Tiffin has it. Tries to get it underneath and does to Carter. No, rebound is volleyballed away, picked up by Norton. Here comes a quick transition by Norton. Has Evans with him, but Tiffin just takes the ball out of the air.
Okay, well, that's something he's going to learn. Tiffin's got a lot of size in there. Wow.
Taxter runs over Wheeler, no call. They're letting these guys play somewhat. Here comes Wright back with it.
And Reggie said that's what we want. I don't think that's the game that Thousand Oaks wants to do is run with this Olympian team.
Wheeler goes in and is fouled. No, jump ball they call it. Possession arrow faces the Olympians. Man, Alex Tiffin is a load underneath. Watch this, Rufus.
As you see on the replay, you're right. Tiffin right there, all ball. And as Coach Morris substitutes for Jerry Evans, Jerry says, please leave me in. I'm just getting warmed up on these guys.
He doesn't want that foot to get swollen up on him. Let's hope it doesn't. 5:05 left to go in the second quarter, 15 all time. Overton going against Tiffin, trying to get around him, puts it up and is fouled. Probably on Evan Hall.
As you can see on the replay, Overton on the outside looks to drive the basket. Overton's got a lot of elements in his game. I've said it before, I'll say again, though, rather than him driving off the perimeter, I'd much rather see him working it down low, getting the inside feed, and going up from there, rather than putting the ball on the floor.
Makes this one. Has 2 points, is 2 out of 3. and gives the Olympians the lead.
And if that's not their first lead, it's certainly one of their few leads in the contest. And now it's 17-15 lead. And they force yet another turnover. So now, here's what Thousand Oaks has to be concerned about, Lou. And they talked about it, and that is that famed Leuzinger run. And could we be witnessing the beginning of one, just as Glendora saw and some other teams?
Well, this is the Olympians' quarter. They averaged 20.5 points a game in the second quarter. Overton just, oh boy, that got the sweet roll, didn't it?
It certainly did. And now that makes it a 19-15 game for the Olympians.
And that's a 7-0 run right now for the Olympians. Whalen to Lopez for 3, and a foul. It'll be 3 shots as Julian Wheeler nails him.
And that's one of those things where you say, boy, you never, ever want to foul a jump shoot, especially from three-point range. No mistake by Wheeler. Good aggressiveness on defense, but just a little too much. And boy, you're going to give him an opportunity to close the gap here, which is at 19-15 with no time off the clock.
And Lopez misses the first one with 4 points on the day. Almost halfway to recess.
And of the Olympians on the floor, no one's in real foul trouble right now. Nobody with more than one.
Evans, Overton, Rice, Wheeler. That one's in. And Larry Dennis. Check that. That's Larry Dennis. He went over and did a little trash talking. Is that what he did? Now he has one more. And won't go down. Will Overton way up high to get that one.
Okay, Overton's trapped. This is why you want to get the ball into a ball handler's hand as quickly as possible.
Terry Evans with it, and a little trouble. Now goes baseline against Whalen, and a blocking foul against Whalen. And now it'll be 1-and-1 time. Whalen, his first and the 7th team foul.
Well, it's even better than that. Jeff Arredondo indicating that Jerry Evans was in the act of shooting, so he's going to go to the line to get the shoot too. That means there's no pressure on the first one, which increases your chances of making it exponentially.
A little short on that one. You know, I noticed Jerry, just before he shoots, when he bends his leg, he kind of shakes his knees a little bit.
Well, what Jerry did, he blew my big word. I worked on that word for 2 days.
Exponential. Where did you come up with 4 syllables? Or was that 5? I can't even keep
telling
track.
you, that's what I'm saying. Jerry, you owe me one.
See what you did to him?
I know.
But now it's a 20-16 game, though. And 8 points for Jerry Evans. Lopez down to Tiffin. Look out below. And he's fouled by Overton.
Wait, Reggie Morris, head coach, claps on that foul. Boy, that was one. Overton got just a little bit of body underneath on that call, but enough body to draw it, to draw the call from the official block. I thought it was pretty good defense by Overton.
Alex Tiffin, sorry about that.
Certainly good effort by Overton, although he did get the foul, but boy, that takes him out, and that brings in the next defensive stopper.
It's Donley Minor coming in.
Because on the board, they showed that was Overton's 2nd foul.
15 foul. Tiffin now has 7 points. Also coming in now is Michael Beck, a 6'5" senior forward. So Coach Endres of the Lancers using his whole bench to try to match up with the Olympians.
Well, he'll get more than ample opportunity if that's what he wants to do then.
Minor finally gets the handle on the ball. Julian Wheeler going against Lopez.
Wow.
Beautiful spin move to lay it in.
That might be the move of the season right there by Julian Wheeler. What better time than running? I know we'll see that one again next opportunity we get.
Lopez almost threw it out of bounds. Back to Lopez, and that fired up the Olympians. They're really sticking like Velcro on defense. Underneath to Tiffin. Tiffin. And one. No! Yep, they do. They say yes and one. He pointed the wrong table.
Evans not happy. And now we'll see the replay of the Julian Wheeler move just now at the top of the key as he goes against Lopez, dribbles right, spin move, lays it up over the front of the rim for a deuce, and Jerry Evans picks up his second foul.
That had to be Julian Wheeler. Who did get the foul? Was that Jerry? It must have been. That'll be his second and the 16th foul.
Yeah, and that was what we didn't want to see for the Olympians. Fortunately, it happened pretty deep in the court. Olympians right now lead 22-21 in a half in which they played uphill most of it until they got on that 7-0 run that you mentioned.
3:17 left to go in the first half. Larry Dennis gets around Carter, puts up a shot, buries it for a long two.
Player of the game in the Glendora game, Larry Dennis, he had 14 points in that game, including 2 huge three-pointers, and as always, played excellent defense.
So if he can get some points, get some scoring going, that'll really help out the Olympians' cause. A three-point shot put up and in by Austin Sullivan.
Olympians got caught that time cheating on defense, and they paid the price for it.
And that's a tie ball game now. As the ball comes rolling right in front of us. You see DeLon Wright and Antonio Lopez.
2 number 15s going at it. That would be a great matchup.
Wheeler has it. Leuzinger trying to get the lead back. Three-pointer by Dennis, just off the mark. Wheeler takes it away, puts up a shot, won't go down. Rebound is off to Tiffin. Maybe Wheeler a little bit too anxious on that rebound turnaround.
A little bit, but he had a good look at it and took it.
Whoa! DeLon Wright.
Bring that mess in here.
That's right. This is my bowl of dog food. Thank you very much. Let's watch it. Lopez coming down, slashing into the lane. Get out of here.
I'm sure big brother Dorrell Wright is proud. Dorrell, of course, of Leuzinger history. He was on the team that got almost to this level. Baby brother DeLon Wright got him here.
2:20 left in the half. It's a 24-all game. Tiffin, turnaround jump shot, won't go down. Rebound is off. And Minor gets it over to Wright. Wright up quickly to Quinn for 3. Almost, but the rebound is flagged down by Minor. Wants to go baseline. Now stops. Fall-away jumper. Got it.
Nice pull-up by Donnelly. Big basket just when they need it. But now we've got a real boxing match back and forth. Olympian zone with the lead.
Beck has it. Gets it back to Whalen. Whalen. Lopez. Inside the three-point arc. Rebound is off. Who's going to chase it down? It's loose. And it's taken by Beck. Gets it to Lopez. Tiffin. Now back out to Whalen. Wants to reset the offense with 1:30 left to go in the half. 26-24. Leuzinger with the lead. Wide open underneath to Carter. Put it in.
That time, missed defensive assignment by DeLon Wright on the play cost the Olympians a basket.
So a tie ball game at 26-all. Minor goes in and a foul. He'll go to the line for the 1-and-1. Now they're going to call it a shooting foul with 1:08 left to go. And it's a tie ball game. So big foul shots by Donnelly Minor coming in on the replay.
See Donnelly on the replay coming in. What we don't see, as we see Donnelly will go to the line as a result of the foul, we see Coach Reggie Morris, you and I do, talking to both Larry Dennis and DeLon Wright, because as I mentioned, there was a missed defensive assignment on that play that left the Lancer wide open for the basket that tied the game up, and now Donnelly Minor with the free throw puts the Olympians back out front again.
Trying to see who the foul is on, Rufus. Can't really tell. But at any rate, it's the 8th team foul. And Donnelly Minor looking to put the Olympians up by 2. And does, 28-26.
Free throw shooting tonight has been real good for the Olympians during the course of the season. We've talked about some of their defensive troubles, but tonight, not defensive troubles, free throw shooting trouble. but tonight it's kept them in this ball game.
Sure has, Rufus. And another almost a steal, but Tiffin gets the ball back. Tiffin outside to Taxter. Gets it back to Lopez. 3-point try. Looks good. It is. Cold-blooded three. And that's 8 points for Lopez. Whalen steals the ball, and I believe he's fouled on the way.
Okay, real close officiating here. Players will need to make the adjustment. That foul, Leuzinger's 17th foul, will send T.O. to the line to shoot the 1-and-1.
That's James Whalen coming to the line to shoot 2. Second foul on Donnelly Minor.
So Leuzinger with a couple of key guys in early foul trouble here as we wind down the last 41 seconds of the first half. You got Jerry Evans with 2, Donald Minor with 2. This is a 1-and-1.
Whalen makes the first one. We're sorry about that.
No problem.
Just his first point.
Whalen, of course, his strength and contribution to this team is on the assist side, averages 5 assists per game.
And Alex Tiffin sits down maybe for the remainder of the half. Michael Beck comes in. Just on the other side of the foul line, Rufus, the Olympians are shooting 67% from the line as a team. As Akil Quinn gets the rebound. And it's a 2-point ball game. Lancers with the lead in the seesaw final of Division IIAA at the CIF Southern Section Toyota Championships on Channel 22 Sports. Julian Wheeler holding the ball up, trying to milk the clock down. Almost to 4 corners now for the Olympians. Larry Dennis gets everybody rotating. Back up top on the 2-3 zone. A long 3-point shot is buried by Julian Wheeler.
Now you got to play good defense. You don't want to cheat it. Whoa! We're going to go the other way. Stepping in to take the foul was Larry Dennis. For the Thousand Oaks coaching staff won't like that, but with 6 seconds left in the quarter, the Olympians lead by 1. They've got the ball. They'll clearly hold for the last shot. But if you're going to play ball at Newhouse, that's what you got to do.
And then they're trying to make Honda Center almost 18,000 seats, Newhouse. And we got a big contingent right across from us. Lots of red, the sea red behind us. It's a green sea. Wheeler. 3 from Norton, just off the mark, and that ends the half. But the Olympians with a big 3-point shot by Julian Wheeler take the lead back on the Lancers of Thousand Oaks, the #1 seed in Division IIAA. It is a 31-30 lead for Leuzinger going into the locker room. Now let's go to Rashawn Haylock with Coach Reggie Morris.
Thanks a lot, guys. I'm here with Coach Reggie Morris. Coach, you guys started that quarter with a 7-0 run. They responded with another run of their own. How big was that 3 by Julian?
The 3 was huge. As we've gone through the year, we've gotten better as we've started to finish quarters better. So when you make a shot like that at the end of the quarter, it gives you a lot of momentum.
Is the tempo the way you like it? Would you like this going to be sped up?
It was starting to get there. I think both teams kind of felt each other out. I think we were starting to get to a point where we were getting to the tempo of our liking.
Second half, any adjustments need to be made?
Just got to step it up and try to force our will on them a little bit more.
Last thing for you, Jerry, it seemed like he tweaked his ankle a little bit.
That's been an old injury. He's good.
Okay, best wishes in the second half. It's Coach Reggie Morris, Leuzinger, leading this one going into the locker room at halftime. That's Reggie Morris Jr. We'll have an interview with Reggie Morris Sr. coming up at the half. But right now, guys, back to you.
Thank you very much, Rashawn. The score, 31-30, Olympians lead over the Lancers. We'll recap the first half right after this. You're watching the CIF Southern Section Toyota Championships on Channel 22 Sports.
Welcome back to halftime here at Honda Center. CIF Southern Section Division IIAA final between Leuzinger and Thousand Oaks. And right now I'm joined by a man who really may just be responsible for all this, Reggie Morris Sr., the father of Reggie Morris Jr., head coach of your Leuzinger Olympians. Coach, Jr. was talking to us a little bit earlier before the game, and he said being the second best coach in the family has a lot of catching up to do. How do you think he's doing so far?
Well, I think he's developed into a great coach. I mean, I think that's a real credit to his ability and his willingness to learn. I mean, it didn't just obviously happen overnight, but he's been around basketball all his life. From the time he was a little baby, he's been shooting Nerf basketballs and coming to city championship games and state championship games. So, you know, it's kind of in his blood somewhat. But to his credit, he has really focused and developed himself into a great coach.
What are some of the things that you tried to convey to him as he's begun his coaching career?
Well, in most situations, any careers, I mean, you have to be yourself. And so I'm not a person that has ever pushed him to do anything that he didn't want to do. And so I don't think he always aspired to be a basketball coach. But at some point, that clicked in, and all I told him is that whatever he decided to do, I want him to have passion for it, a real love for it. And somewhere that developed. And from that point on, he's taken the ball and run with it.
Now, you coach, you're very, very well known in the Los Angeles community for your coaching efforts. Did you see something in Reggie that made you think that maybe he might take this route?
Like I said, later on in his playing days, early on, he was just like any other kid. He played different sports. He really loved baseball, and he played other sports. And but something happened probably in his college days at Howard that he decided that he really was, you know, more focused into basketball. Not that, I mean, he was a great player for me, and he's a great player at Howard. So something just clicked in at that time.
What does that mean? What does it mean for you to be able to see him in this spot, you know, competing for a section championship?
Well, I don't know. He's probably already told you. For me, I'm real nervous about the whole situation because I just want the best for him. But you know, I leave that up to him. He coaches his own team. You know, he does call me. We talk daily about basketball and different things. But he's run his own show, and for me, it's just a ton of pride on my part.
Can you explain that a little bit? Because you've coached at numerous games, and you're probably more nervous here at his games rather than your own. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, I mean, I think when you're a competitor, you like to have some things that you're in control of. And in these games, I'm not in control of it. He is. And so, you know, I'm up there squirming and for different plays and different things. So, you know, just been my experience to be able to have a little bit more control for my own games. And I want the best for him, so I'm just, you know, sitting there praying and everything else.
Hey, well, thank you so much, Coach, for your time. We appreciate it. It's Coach Reggie Morris, Sr., right here joining us here on LCTV. Second half action coming up.
Thanks, Rashawn. We'll continue our halftime activities on the other side of Honda Center with Beto Duran.
Thanks, guys. Joined by Daily Breeze reporter Eric Stevens. Eric, Leuzinger in the CIF title game for the first time. You followed this program all season long. What's impressed you the most about them in the playoff run?
Well, I think it's their defense. That's what they make. They really put all their pride into doing. It's really defense first, which starts their transition game. If they can get that going, they can do that tonight and make an impact on the defensive side. They'll be right in this game until the end. It's really been their calling card all year.
This is a team that's played Westchester tough. They played some tough teams in non-league action. What's so impressive the way they've come together this year?
You know, I think really it's an unselfish unit. I mean, Jerry Evans obviously is their leading scorer and he's their big offensive guy, but really they have about 4 go-to guys that they can go to. And because they're defensive minded first, which Reggie Morris really has instilled in this program, I think that breeds that unselfishness. And you touched on it earlier. They played Westchester, they played Taft, they've beaten them, so they played against some big teams. So I think they're ready for this scene here.
The number 1 seed, Thousand Oaks, that's who they're going up to. Leuzinger thought maybe they should have got the number 1 seed. Regardless, 1 and 2, that's what you want to see in the title game. How do you see it playing out?
Well, I think it's going to be a tight game, although it's funny, both teams have really dominated their competition the whole way through in the playoffs. So I think really what's going to happen is which team is going to be able to handle this atmosphere very well. This is going to be the biggest crowd that both teams have played for, you know, a lot of these players' lives. The interesting thing that you'll see, Leuzinger obviously is their first title game. Thousand Oaks has been here a couple times. They haven't won, but maybe they've had that experience from previous years, especially the 2006 group. So if Leuzinger can handle themselves, not get too emotional, too wrapped up early in the game, if they can settle down early, I think they'll be right there.
Eric Stevens, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Eric Stevens from the Daily Breeze. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Beto Duran. Halftime continues. We'll have the stats and the third quarter action. The Leuzinger Olympians, the number 2 seed, leading number 1 seed Thousand Oaks 31-30 in the Division II AA championships. You're watching the CIF Southern Section Toyota Championships on Channel 22 Sports. Back here at halftime at the 2009 CIF Southern Division II AA Basketball Championships, brought to you by Toyota on Channel 22 Sports. The Leuzinger Olympians have a 31-30 lead over the Thousand Oaks Lancers. And let's go to Beto Duran.
Just caught up with Thousand Oaks head coach. He said he told the squad we're playing well, but nothing has been accomplished yet. Nobody has gone on a big run yet in this game. He says it's going to come down to which team can put together a good long run. The team that can do that can win a CIF title. Back to you, Lou.
All right, thanks a lot, Beto. Let's go to Rashawn Haylock.
Thanks a lot, guys. You know, the story of that first half was Julian Wheeler. First year with the Olympians after transferring from Beverly Hills. And, you know, the scouts' take on him is that sometimes he speeds up too much. He doesn't have a good pace. He doesn't let the pace come to him, but he goes too fast at times. Well, in that first half, 10 points in the first frame, including that huge 3 to end the first half. To lead all scorers here, looks like he's found the right pace, guys.
And now let's go over some stats with the Leuzinger Olympians. 10 out of 28 from the floor for 35.7%. From beyond the arc, 2 out of 12, 16.7. And from the foul line, 9 out of 12 for 75%. For the Lancers, 10 out of 23 for 43.5%. And in the first half, 3-point field goals for the Lancers, 3 out of 6 for 50. And from the free throw line, 7 out of 12, 58.3. Here's a big one, Rufus, the turnovers. It is 11 turnovers for the Lancers and just 4 for the Olympians.
And you're right, that is a big turnover, and that means that Leuzinger is playing good defense, and their defense is what's put them in the lead coming out of the locker room at the half.
All right, what do the Olympians have to do, who outscored the Lancers 21-18 in that second quarter? What do they have to do to stay in the lead?
Well, you only got to win by 1, so that means you got to keep playing good defense.
And Alex Tiffin muscles the rebound and puts it up and in. Well, there's no quit in this Lancer team.
None whatsoever, and that's a big problem for the Olympians is Tiffin's size on the inside at 6'7".
Right, he has only 1 foul, but a dozen points. Larry Dennis with it. And the pass on the skip is stolen by Carter. That's their 5th turnover. Whalen down to Tiffin, who can get it from 3-point range, and now Carter commits the player control foul.
Absolutely.
With Donnelly Minor in the way.
Absolutely easy call. Donnelly in the right position at the right time. You see him there standing straight up. Good defensive play by Donnelly Minor.
We saw it there on the replay as Minor right in front of us, being guarded by Antonio Lopez. On right, gets it back to Minor, sees the baseline, takes it. It's out of bounds, but it bounces off his foot. Turns it over. That's the 2nd turnover of the half for the Olympians. And we're not even a minute into the 3rd quarter.
And that's not a good sign.
Whalen catches it on the run, stops, gives it to Tiffin, has a shot blocked from behind by Julian Wheeler. Now, it was DeLon Wright trapped, and now he's trapped again, and a foul on the trapping defense. It'll be Leuzinger ball. And is it Antonio Lopez?
And it is Lopez, at least that's what the house announcer indicates. And for Lopez, that's a pair.
That's his 2nd. Okay.
Well, they can ill afford to lose him.
Jerry Evans has it, traveled. A little bit of indecision, wanted to go inside or did he want to go outside, and it cost him.
So Olympians come out of the box with 3 turnovers here in the first minute and 15 of the second half. They may need an early timeout to get resettled.
Lopez gets it to Tiffin. Back to Lopez, tipped away, stolen by Larry Dennis. Minor stops with the left hand. Austin gets it back out, gets some help from right. Wheeler from his spot. Won't go down, rebound is off, and taken by Chad Kinji.
No rebounders in position for the Olympians. Over on the weak side, they had nobody.
Whalen gets underneath, has his shot blocked by Minor, tips it once, and tipped up and in by Kinji. only his first bucket of the game, but now it's a 3-point Lancer lead. Jerry Evans stops underneath. Nice backdoor pass and completed by DeLon Wright. The first bucket of the third quarter for the Olympians. 1-point game. Whalen over to Tiffin, puts it up and in. Wow, what happened there? Who got lost on defense?
Well, I'm not sure who got lost, but good no call by the official. Otherwise, that would have been Jerry Evans' third foul.
And now Larry Dennis made the nice save, but the shot goes off the mark, and the foul is on the Lancers.
We had known this before the game that our position is right in front of where the official sets up at. So we're doing a lot of ducking and moving from side to side.
Well, that's the disadvantage of sitting courtside with 3 officials. And for Kinsey, that's his third foul. And yeah, Lopez does have 3. That's what I thought. And the shot is put up and in.
Jerry Evans gets a lot of bounce on it. He'll take it, though, and that was a big basket for the Olympians. Draws him back within 1 at 36-35.
And for Evans, he's in double figures. Tiffin bounces it off of Overton, has a block by Overton, stolen away by Evans on the turnover. And nice finish by Julian Wheeler with a dish pass from DeLon Wright.
Good unselfish play by the Olympians, puts them back in the lead at 37-36. So they answer the quick 4-0 run by Thousand Oaks out of the box. Thousand Oaks went up 34-31. The Olympians come back with a 6-point run of their own.
Let's go to Beto Duran.
Defense been the mantra for Thousand Oaks all season long. Another key for them is their depth. 9 of the players on the roster are returning seniors. Plenty of varsity action. That's why head coach continues to run them in and out. He said he had no problem with anybody on his roster on the floor. He has confidence in every single one of them because he has plenty of players. Back to you, Luke.
All right, thanks, Beto. 4:58 left to go in the third quarter. The Olympians averaged 17.5 points per game in the third. The Lancers 16.6. And right now, the Olympians coming in bursts. Both of these teams are scoring in bunches.
They are scoring in bunches, and right now they're both holding fort. You wouldn't expect anything less of the number 1 and number 2 seed in the section playing for the title.
Well, that's the way it's supposed to be. There's now Kiani with it, gets it to Whalen. Whalen back to Kiani against Wheeler. Now wheeled around up top to Carter against Overton. And a blocking foul on Will Overton. That's his third with 5 points.
And while they call the third foul on Overton, I'm going to give you another little inside scoop. Overton's been warned twice about his jersey being out, okay? That is something the official, if he leaves the floor and comes back at a critical time and it's still out, the official can deny him entry into the game.
Shot put up, a 3 by Tiffin, won't go down. That's his first miss from 3. And Whalen comes up with the rebound. Tiffin says, I'll try it again. Missed that one. Rebound taken by Wheeler. He wheels around and gives it to Overton coming down. Will Overton couldn't get it out of his back pocket, it looked like, but DeLon Wright steals it right away from Taxter. Bad pass, and that turns right back over to the Lancers with 4:09 left in the third.
Olympians still nursing a 1-point lead at 37-36. That turnover, a crucial one. Opportunity to extend the lead, they wasted.
And that can be so demoralizing to another team. Steal it, come back, and get the bucket and make a 4-point turnaround. Whalen has it, gets it on the over to Tiffin, but did he travel? Yes, he did. That's 15 turnovers.
Case of nerves that time for Tiffin. Travel occurred before the replay there.
Norton has it against Whalen. 2-3 zone being shown by the Lancers. Leuzinger in the second half right in front of us. Down to Evans as the Lancers collapse on him. Fall away jumper, no. Rebound by Tiffin.
These are possessions you don't want to waste, Lou.
Kiani has it. And a foul going the other way. Kiani commits the player control. His first third-team foul.
Keanu, they say, pushed off on the play. There you see the dip of the shoulder. That one was actually easy. Thousand Oaks crowd complaining on the call. They don't have the benefit of the replay that we just saw, because if they did, they'd be applauding the official.
DeLon Wright with it. Now back up top to Overton. Trying to get around Whalen, but double team. Now DeLon Wright from the wing, and he puts it up and in.
DeLon Wright with the big basket. I got to tell you, though, my heart goes in my throat every time I've got Overton dribbling out at the top of the key. I'd much rather see him lower down on the low block.
Sometimes he's like watching an 18-wheeler going downhill without any brakes. James Whalen back up top to Tippin, almost stolen away, gets it back. Nice behind the back pass and a travel by Michael Taxter. 16 turnovers.
Another turnover for, you're right, 16 turnovers, another break for the Olympians. The question now is, can they capitalize? They've got a 3-point lead. These turnovers, you've got to start turning them into baskets, though.
You're absolutely right. Overton scaring Rufus again, going down the middle. Has it blocked away by Carter, can't pick it up, and another wasted opportunity by the Olympians. 2:45 left to go in the third quarter. 39-36, Leuzinger over Thousand Oaks. Division II championships, Division II AA championships at the Honda Center. First trip for the Olympians, third for the Lancers. From the baseline, Tiffin makes it.
Wow, the big man Tiffin, I mean, he's shown his worth tonight. You got to see him impressed with the big guy, especially with his perimeter shoot.
He has a beautiful touch. And 16 points to show for it. Ball swung around, now down to Evans against Tiffin. Tried to pass it underneath to Wright. Back out, Larry Dennis has to go down and flag it down. Overton against Whalen. Norton, Wright for three, got it!
Indication by the official, marked it, they score it. Three-pointer for the Olympian extends their lead now to 4 at 42-38.
Is that their biggest lead of the game?
That ties their biggest lead of the game.
Taxter gets it to Carter, slashing in, but look out. Shot is blocked by Jerry Evans. Picks it up, back he comes, around the back. There we go to Overton. Gets it back to Wright for another three. Short. Rebound is off, taken by Taxter.
And that could have brought the house down. Just couldn't get that one to drop.
I tell you, the Olympian fans clad in red across from us would have brought the house down.
Now you got to get back on defense.
Taxter puts the shot up over Overton. No, rebound is off. Taken by Wright. Gets it up to Larry Dennis. Tipped. And look out over at the scorer's table as Kevin Kiani went for it. Almost dove right into the PA announcer.
Olympians looking to run, and of course, Coach Morris told us in the pregame that they don't mind getting into a running game. In fact, they don't think Thousand Oaks would want to run with them.
No,
exactly.
That's why the Lancers are clogging the running lanes. Kind of like a football team.
You got that right, yeah. The other thing about this Leuzinger team, and the reason so many different media outlets picked them to win this game, and of course we still got plenty of basketball time left, and that is that they've played all kinds of teams with varying kinds of styles, and so they are extremely adaptable. They're an amoeba-like team. They adapt to whatever the situation is.
That's right. So now Overton for three, in and out, chases it down. Donley Minor, should say, on the three try. Keel Quinn has a shot blocked by Tiffin. Man.
Sure looks like he was fouled on the play with no call. I got to tell you.
Lopez to Carter. Carter, one of the big men on campus, at least on the hardwood for the Lancers this year. There's another one, James Whalen with it. Calls out the play. 35 seconds left on the game clock, 15 on the shot clock. Just trying to milk this clock for at least one shot. Carter for three. Dennis went for the steal and got burned. 9 points for Chris. And that makes it a one-point game, 42-41. And the shot clock is dark with 12 seconds left for Leuzinger. Julian Wheeler trapped in the top corner. Gets around Lopez, has a wide open lane, puts it up, and can't get the layup. And shot with no time on the clock. Good if it goes. Antonio Lopez almost buried the long three-pointer. And Leuzinger picks up where they left off, a one-point leader, 42-41. And let's go over to Rashawn Haylock as soon as he's ready. What a game this is here, the Division II AA playoffs. Rashawn.
Thanks a lot, guys. You know, I talked to Coach Reggie Morris before the game, and I asked him, what amongst all things stands out from being here at this point? He said, you know, I'm not a better coach today than I was last year, even 2 years ago. But he said, you know what, it's these guys, they came together as a team and they bought in. It wasn't about any individual goals, it was about team goals. It was guys like Bush Dennis sacrificing minutes and points to be a part of this team and be a part of something special, guys. These last 8 minutes is going to have to be a team effort for these Olympians.
All right, thanks a lot, Rashawn Haylock. Now let's go over to Beto Duran.
Thousand Oaks, the #1 seed in the playoffs because they went 14-0 in the Marmane League. But the biggest knock on them is that they had a soft schedule. They're number 27th in the state. Meanwhile, Leuzinger plays Westchester and Taft, two perennially strong programs. They're ranked 5th in California. Back to you, Lou.
All right, thanks, Beto. Just about ready to get underway. 8 minutes left to go, Rufus, for either the Lancers or the Olympians to be the victors at center court with the big CIF Southern Section shingle.
You got that right, boy. Right now, the Olympians with the ball to open the quarter.
DeLon Wright with it against James Whalen. 2-3 zone still employed by the Lancers. Julian Wheeler with it, gets it to Jerry Evans, back to Julian, who leads the Olympians with 12, but loses the ball to Whalen. And the Lancers, that's turnover number, well, another stolen right back. Look out below.
Nice steal by DeLon Wright. The big basket there extends the Leuzinger lead to 3 at 44-41. And now they've got to get back. Boy, they're showing man defense now, although they leave a guy open on the side.
And that guy was Chad Kenji. He has 4 points, and it's still a 1-point game. Back to a 1-point game. Alex Tiffin leading all scorers with 16 points for the Lancers.
Now the Lancers have extended the zone, but if you look where the back line is up near the free throw line.
Don't want to take any chances. Overton, ball fake down the lane. Backdoor pass is tipped and stolen. And that's by Chad Kenji. Kenji gets it over to Carter. Wide open, Whalen. Ball fake, gets in, shoots, scores.
These guys are showing their shooting prowess as they retake the lead at 45-44.
James Whalen with just his first field goal of the game, Rufus. Julian Wheeler. Now DeLon Wright to Overton. Turns, shoots, just short. Rebound is tipped, and Jerry Evans going to be called for over the top. That's Jerry's third and the second team. Get a timeout on the floor with 6:11 left to go in the fourth quarter. Lancers with a 1-point, 45-44 lead. This is the Southern Section, CIF Southern Section Toyota Championships on Channel 22 Sports.
And right now the Olympians have got to get back into their offensive flow. Overton's that shot from the elbow, again, needing to be about 5-6 feet further down near the low block for his shot, maybe following. They've got to get some other shooters in the game, some guys. If they're going to take perimeter shots, they've got to get a different group of guys, and you got to get Larry Dennis, Devontae Norton, some of those guys that shoot from the perimeter. You got to give Donnelly Minor the ball if you're going to take those kind of shots, and then let Julian Wheeler, who can work inside and out. But in this situation, I'd have Julian Wheeler working inside with Overton and with Jerry Evans.
Only Jerry Evans, DeLon Wright, and Julian Wheeler have scored in the second half. We thought Larry Dennis was going to heat up in the second quarter. Overton, of course, has not scored, but is sure out there giving it his all. Reggie Morris, always teaching out there. What an impressive young coach. And he says it's tough to be the second best coach in your family.
And that's paying tribute to his dad, who's a longtime coach here in the Southland at LA Southwest College.
Whalen to Lopez. Back to Whalen. And now Kenji has it, had the wide open wing. Now takes the baseline, going against Jerry Evans. The elbow goes into Evans, has to look out because he has 3 fouls. But Evans takes the ball away, and back come the Olympians, 3-on-3. And Jerry turned the ball over, literally.
Okay. A couple of breaks have gone against the Olympians. This is where they've got to keep their composure.
And Alex Tiffin was wide open in the corner, and Jerry Evans has his 4th foul because he just couldn't get out of the way.
Let's look at the replay here where Jerry thought he got there in time, and actually good call by the official. Jerry moved on the play. If you're going to get there, you got to establish position, and you got to hold it.
Tiffin. Makes this one pretty much automatic with 17 points. It's now 4 out of 4 from the line, and that's a 2-point lead now.
What they're going to try to do is hang close, if not get the lead, see if they can get Jerry back in at about the 3-minute mark. With him having 4 fouls, boy, that puts him in a difficult spot.
Tiffin misses one. Rare miss at the line. Overton with the rebound. He'll be in the middle for the Olympians as Devontae Norton goes in and gets it up and in. Larry Dennis.
Larry Dennis on the plate. Good call, Lou.
Now it's all tied up at 46 with 5:30 left to go in the ball game. James Whalen. James, the junior, 4,000 Oaks running the show. Bounces it underneath. Give and go to Chris Carter. Back. Bad pass, but is picked up by Lopez. Kinsey for 3. In and out. Rebound taken by Wheeler. Back come the Olympians with 5:08 left to go. Wheeler, or actually Wright.
Oh!
How did that one not go in? Rebound is taken by Kinsey, and back come the Lancers on the quick transition. Taken by Lopez. He finishes it off.
Lopez pulls up short, avoided the charging call against Dennis.
Now the lead goes back to the Lancers' hands. Donley Minor gets it out to Larry Dennis from the foul line.
Whoa!
Oh, got the sweet kiss off the glass. Larry Dennis now with 4 in the quarter, 6 overall, ties it up at 48 with 4:35 left in the 4th.
Now he's playing good defense. On the next full timeout, we'll go to Beto Duran with a story about Jerry Evans.
4:20 left to go. Now the Lancers are slowing it down. Underneath the Tiffin, turnaround jumper, missed it. But a foul called on William Overton.
Looked like good defense on Overton. I guess, okay, there's the push in the back by Overton on the play. He's going to shoot 2 at the line.
4 fouls on Will Overton. And we have a timeout on the floor with 4:12 left to go. It's all knotted up at 48. We're ready to go to Beto Duran.
Jerry Evans on the bench right now for Leuzinger with 4 fouls. Thousand Oaks players were given a direct order. He's on the floor, you attack him, they want to foul him out. And without him, Leuzinger loses their big man. Evans goes 6-7. Back to you, Lou.
All right, thank you very much, Beto Duran, on that reports on Jerry Evans.
Well, the main thing you can say about him is that he's got 4 fouls.
4 fouls. It doesn't look like the turned ankle in the first quarter is bothering him either.
I don't think so, although I will admit we're not seeing quite the same explosiveness from Jerry as we're accustomed to seeing. Having said that, though, making no excuse for him because he's been out on the floor. He's been playing at full tilt. And right now, the squad they're bringing out on the floor has got to draw them even, keep this thing close, allow Evans to get back in at about the 3-minute mark, maybe 2.5.
Alex Tiffin goes to the line for a couple of foul shots. Alex was perfect until missing his last one. Makes this one with 18 points. Breaks the tie, a 1-point, 49-48 lead for the Lancers.
He has been a difference maker in this game. Make no mistake about it.
5 out of 7. Make that 6 out of 8. 19 points. A 2-point lead for the Lancers. Full court pressure shown by the white-clad Lancers. And look out below. As Overton pushes the bunny because Alex Tiffin was down there. Blocks it. It goes out of bounds. And another bunny just wouldn't go down in the hole for William Overton. 2 shots at it there. Carter was there along with Tiffin. Larry Dennis gets the inbound pass. With 4 minutes left to go.
Junior Wheeler, the best offensive threat on the floor for the Olympians right now.
And he's leading the Olympians in scoring with a dozen. And a foul on the play. I believe that's James Whalen. That'll be his second, fourth team foul. Jerry Evans, like you said, right around the 3-minute mark, coming back in, Rufus.
A little bit earlier than I thought, Lou, but right now I think that Coach Morris has decided if we're going to win, I got to ride my horse right now.
There you go. The horses are saddled up, all dressed up in red. DeLon Rice gets it to Evans. Evans in the lane, over Tiffin, and nice touch.
And that's why he put Jerry Evans back in.
Ties it up at 50, now an even dozen for Jerry.
I'm sorry, Lou, I think you got to come out of the trap and go man to man. This team is just beating them on the trap, and now we have a timeout call. And that's the problem with that. It's good defense, but boy, your rotation has to be real quick. And Leuzinger's gotten beaten a couple of times on the defensive rotation out of the trap that led to easy baskets for Thousand Oaks.
There you see Jerry Evans getting over Alex Tiffin. And those nice rims here at Honda Center. Boy, what a nice facility it is. And again, these Olympians are in the Ducks locker room. So that's the best room in the house. They got the penthouse.
They got a penthouse, and right now, though, they got a dog fight.
That's right, that's for sure. It's the Thousand Oaks Lancers, who are also looking for their first title in their 48-year history. They've been here 3 times since 2002. Victor Massey getting in the face of Larry Dennis, telling him something. Now the Leuzinger faithful across the way, the sea of red is up in arms.
Every possession the rest of the way, Lou, is huge. 24 seconds left on the shot clock for Thousand Oaks.
Ball is inbounded, now underneath to Tiffin against Evans. And no, they call it a jump ball or a foul.
No. If that's a foul and that's number 5 on Jerry Evans, that's all she wrote, and that's what it looks like it is.
So Jerry Evans, with 3:24 left to go in the ball game, fouls out with 12 points.
And right now what Jerry has to do as he walks by an official is resist the temptation to say anything to the official, to draw a technical on the play. A very disappointing performance for Jerry tonight, a disappointing outcome for him. But William Overton now has to step up, and this is where some other guys have got to carry the load for the Leuzinger Olympians. With 3:24 left, Jerry Evans, their leading scorer, Bay League Player of the Year, out of the game.
What a big blow that is, but Alex Tiffin, the man who stopped him, is at the foul line now with 20 points. Leuzinger gets the ball back, down by 1 point with 3:18 left to go in the ball game. 51-50, Lancers with the lead. Leuzinger with the ball. Julian Wheeler double team, gets help from Larry Dennis, an NBA 3, short, rebound is loose, taken by James Whalen, and back comes Chris Carter for the Lancers with 3 minutes left to go.
Lancers had offensive numbers, couldn't take advantage.
Leuzinger got back on defense quick. Man-on-man shown by Leuzinger. James Whalen gets a pick from Alex Tiffin. A three-point shot by Whalen. No, rebound is off and taken and stolen, but stolen away from Wheeler by Kinsey, but it's going to be Leuzinger ball, and this is a huge possession for the Olympians.
Kinsey lost the handle on that. No turnover. He never really had possession. Just could not bring it down.
Full court pressure being shown by the Lancers.
Wow.
And almost thrown away as the Olympians have 3 more seconds to get across the line. They do. Wheeler. No, that's Akil Quinn with and one. Akil Quinn with his first bucket of the game, Rufus, and how huge is that?
It's
to give the Olympians a 1-point lead.
Exactly, as we see on the replay, and that was Tiffin who turned on it. That foul's going to go against him. Well, apparently it's not going to go against Tiffin, but we also know that Lopez has 4.
I think that's who the foul was on, Rufus, if I'm not mistaken. Akil Quinn trying for the and one. Looks good, it is. 3 points, and they're all huge. The 55% foul shooter.
You got to get back. You got to get back. The man defense has to carry you the rest of the way now.
Whalen looks like he almost traveled, almost lost the ball. Picks it up, gets it to Carter. Whalen feeds Tiffin, the big man. Puts it up and in. Gives them a tie ball game. Tiffin with 22 points. Leading all scores. He has been definitely the big man on campus for Thousand Oaks. 2 minutes left to go in the ball game. A tie game here at the CIF Southern Section Toyota Championships. 53 all. Number 1, Thousand Oaks, 53. Number 2, Olympians.
You got to give it 53. Up over to. God.
Tate, a steal there. Lopez puts it up and in. 12 for Antonio, and a 5-point lead, a 2-point lead at 55-53, and a 4-point switch. Wheeler skips it across to Dennis. This is a huge possession for Leuzinger. Akil Quinn gets it out on the wing. A big 3-point shot is over everybody, and Kenji gets the rebound.
I think Leuzinger will call a timeout on the next possession no matter what happens.
1:04 left to go in the ball game. A 2-point lead as Carter puts it up. He's fouled. It won't go. He'll get 2 shots. Is that on Julian Wheeler? I believe it is.
I think it's, okay, well, they gave it to Wheeler. They gave Overton a break then.
So let's see, Chris Carter with 9 points. Said it was a great opportunity to be here, and he is making the most of it now with 10 points and extends the lead to 3, 56-53. His first foul shot of the game is in. Second. Now it's a 2-possession game for the Olympians, Rufus. With less than 1 minute to go. Larry Dennis has it. How can the Olympians pull this one out? Donley Miner has it. Miner's been quiet most of the game, and he's fouled. He'll have a chance to go to the line to shoot 2, and let's see who this foul is on. Either on Tiffin or Carter.
It's going to be on Carter.
That's his second, 15th foul. Well, it's been a tight ball game all game long, Rufus. No team has had a big advantage. Donley Miner.
Wow, down stroke. Just like ice water in your veins.
Snaps a 6-0 run by the Lancers.
Olympians substitute Devontae Norton for Akil Quinn. They want an extra shooter on the floor at this point. This is a small lineup for them. They have no big man on the floor.
Donley Miner is perfect from the line, 4 for 4, and now it's a 2-point ball game. Steal would sure be nice.
Wow!
And Akil Quinn gets knocked over. No call. Carter has it. Misses everything. Rebound is off. The Leuzinger Olympians have it. The shot clock is dark.
Do you want a timeout in the front court?
25 seconds left to go. Donley Miner throws the ball away. Tried to do too much. 17 seconds left to go. Leuzinger's going to have to foul. Kiffin puts the finishing touch in. 24 points. It's 59-55. Long shot by Wheeler. Off the glass. Desperation, no. Alex Kiffins is going to hold the ball. And Thousand Oaks, the number 1 seed, wins their first CIF Southern Section Championship in Division II AA, 59-55 over the 2nd seed Leuzinger Olympians.
And you're right, Thousand Oaks played the perfect ball game, reminiscent of Villanova playing against Georgetown in 1984, a game in which a team that was expected to lose and lose big played virtually to perfection and against this very talented Leuzinger team, which, by the way, fans, let me announce this now, will be moving on to the regional playoffs for a state title. Again, they come up short tonight, but you got to tip your hat to Thousand Oaks and the game that they played.
They sure did. A terrific game by the Lancers, coached by Richard Endress, and definitely the player of the game is Alex Tiffin with 24 points. Well, we'll take a timeout right after this, and even after battling all game long, these two teams shaking hands and giving each other an attaboy. Let's take a timeout. You've been watching the CIF Southern Section Toyota Championships on Channel 22 Sports. Here comes Reggie Morris to get the second place trophy for the Leuzinger Olympians with captains Larry Dennis and Donnelly Miner. Reggie Morris presenting it to his senior captains. Larry Dennis with 6 points. Tried in desperation in the fourth quarter to get these Olympians back in it, and did. Donnelly Miner, a quiet night, only 1 field goal and 6 points. And it was just too much Alex Tiffin in the CIF Southern Section Toyota Championships, Division IIAA.
Too much Alex Tiffin and too little Jerry Evans. Not because of Jerry's effort, but because of the fact that Jerry was in foul trouble. Boy, picked up that 5th foul with a whole lot of time left, over 3 minutes left in the quarter. That created a tough situation for the Olympians, going the rest of the way without their best offensive threat, their best player overall. They just couldn't overcome that deficit.
Tell you what, Rufus, this is the farthest an Olympian team has gone, and there's going to be a special spot in the trophy case for that one at the Lou House.
Oh, it absolutely will, and again, it bears repeating. The season's not over.
That's
These
right.
guys they automatically qualify for the state playoffs. And the Southern California regional playoffs start next week, next Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. So they've got more than a great opportunity to redeem themselves and move on.
At least they have enough time to digest this one and learn from it. And now let's go over to Rashawn Haylock.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. You look at the Leuzinger Olympians behind me, obviously a deflated bunch, but the crowd behind them picked them up a little bit. The community surrounded these guys. These guys have nothing to shake their heads about, as they will continue to go on to play another game. State championships start Tuesday, but with the loss today, Leuzinger probably have to travel on the road. But having been through this myself, probably the hardest part for these young men right now is what they're doing right now. Sitting right here as Thousand Oaks is being awarded with their first place pins and trophies and plaques. Obviously very tough, but something for these Olympians to think about as they go forward.
Boy, what a trip. The Leuzinger Olympians, the second seed in the Division IIAA. What a trip the Olympians let us go on. What a ride.
Oh, it was a heck of a ride, a wonderful ride. Unfortunately, came to a disappointing end here tonight at the Honda Center at the hands of a very talented Thousand Oaks Lancer team. Thousand Oaks played well. Leuzinger nipped it. I mean, they just fought all night long. Could not quite get on track the way they wanted to. Played their ball. Thousand Oaks just played a little bit better.
That's right. It was a big battle between Alex Tiffin and Jerry Evans, and it was won today by Alex Tiffin as Jerry Evans fouled out with 3:24 left to go in the ball game, scoring 12 points, Rufus, and Alex Tiffin with a game-high 24 was just way too much from the outside, the inside, and on defense as well.
Alex Tiffin was outstanding, you're right. I mean, defensively, we saw him make several big blocks down low against the Olympians. In fact, forced that part of their game away from them. And offensively, again, as I said during the telecast, impressive in that his stroke from 15 feet is pure. We won't even talk about his inside game at 6'7". We know a guy 6'7" should have an inside game, but his outside game, we saw him hit 1 or 2 in the first quarter, and we're, oh, okay, that's good. The guy did it the whole game.
All game long, yeah. So he's going to be playing Thursday and Saturday night somewhere down the line, that's for sure. But let's talk about, again, the turnovers. The turnovers were created by the Olympians. They gave themselves the opportunity, especially with 11 turnovers by the Lancers in the first half. And then again in the second half, I don't have the final total, but unofficially, there were 18 turnovers in all by the Lancers that I counted. And just the Olympians just couldn't convert those turnovers into enough points, which they usually do.
Absolutely, and that's the purpose in creating a turnover, is to create a scoring opportunity for yourself. So they got half the job right, couldn't quite get the whole job done. That is, they forced a lot of turnovers, but didn't create enough points for themselves off of those turnovers. A couple of times they had a couple of defensive miscues. They got those straightened out. But I think the big story, and let's be fair to the Olympians and their effort, the story of this game will be undoubtedly the foul trouble that Jerry Evans was in, and ultimately Jerry Evans fouling out with just a little over 3 minutes left in the contest. Boy, that changes the whole game for you completely. As Chick Hearn used to say, you wish there wasn't a foul out situation in basketball, but it is what it is. And right now, the fouls bit the Olympians, particularly with Jerry fouling out. But we can't say too many times. The season ain't over.
That's right.
Maybe we're going to see the Olympians again on Tuesday night.
Tell us what happens now. I know that you pay particular attention to this. What happens now to the Olympians now that this part over, the division playoffs are over?
Well, you've got the state playoffs coming up, and the state runs their playoff system on a regional basis. You've got the Southern region, which will be all of LA. City schools will be in this, as well as Southern section schools. San Diego area schools are going to be in it. So you're going to have all the schools in Southern California competing in the tournament, and the schools in Northern California have the Northern version. They'll play Tuesday, Thursday, with the finals, the regional finals, and all the different divisions being held next weekend at Pauley Pavilion. The winners out of that will move on then to Sacramento for a nice weekend of basketball to determine a state champion. Leuzinger's ticket to that is already punched. That's what I want the fans to know. They don't have to worry about that. We're going on to the state tournament. They've got an opportunity there to make up for the disappointment that they feel tonight.
Well, they shouldn't be too disappointed, Rufus, because that the plaque is a beautiful plaque, the Southern section, a runner-up plaque. I mean, it ain't a gold one, but it's a silver one on a beautiful wood base, and it's going to look very handsome, thank you very much, in the Lou House.
And I think where and that's an excellent point you mentioned, and also, you know, the players won't quite understand this, but hopefully the fans will, and the supporters of Leuzinger basketball, again, to look where this program has come over the last 7 seasons. That, boy, you find yourself playing for a title when I take you back 8, 9, 10 years ago, that wasn't even dreamt about, as they would say at Leuzinger. And now this is a perennial team that's playoff caliber year in and year out. And now they've taken the next step. Not only are they playoff caliber, they're championship caliber.
That's right. Reggie Morris has put Leuzinger High School on the GPS of high school hoops, that's for sure. And it hasn't taken him very long. And people always ask me, well, who's Leuzinger? Well, now they know. They're the runner-ups in Division II AA. Just coming up short, 59-55 over a very, very good Thousand Oaks Lancer team led by Alex Tiffin. Well, Rufus, they're getting ready for the interviews in the interview room with the Olympians. Why don't we go over there?
We competed and we played the best game that we could play. Actually, I think we could have played a better game, but you know, a lot of that is due to things that they did to start off with us. So.
Coach, you're such a similar team to theirs, you know, with the press and everything like that. In a 4-minute stretch in the third quarter, you guys forced 5 or 6 turnovers. They had a couple charges. You guys didn't quite seem to capitalize on that. I think you guys only scored 4 points off those turnovers. Talk about, you know, when in the heat of a game like that, how important it is to actually convert those baskets.
That's been one of the things that we haven't done well at times this year. There have been games, we lost a game against Long Beach Poly earlier this year. We forced 31 turnovers, and we weren't able to, we only scored 70 points. So that's been an issue at times. I thought tonight we could have probably done a better job at it, but you know, you live and you learn, and some of the plays, I think some of the guys were cautious to a fault at points, and instead of letting it all hang out, there was times where we probably held on to it and were a little too conservative. We didn't really get the game to our tempo. I mean, what was the final score in the 60s?
No.
59. That's not our tempo. We get this game in the 70s, I think we have a really good chance of winning. 70s and 80s, we definitely have a better chance of winning.
One of the players, can you guys share your emotions right now, especially getting this team into this program at the first time?
ahead, Delon.
It hurts kind of, because we worked hard all year, and we thought we could pull this out.
Very early in the game, you looked like you tweaked your ankle a little bit. You were kind of favoring it for a while, and then with foul trouble. Talk about maybe not making the impact that you probably expect out of yourself.
The injury hurt it for a little while, but it wasn't none that I really favored early in the game. I felt it. Game was going on. I just let it go. I felt I could have done more. I think I let myself down on defense, and I think I gave him too much credit, on his ability. I should have been up to him more than I was.
But Reggie, what about putting Jerry back in there? 3.5 left. How are you balancing, obviously, putting your score back in for the finish with maybe him?
Well, I mean, it's 6 1/2, half a dozen in the other. Sometimes coaches will leave the guy out too long when he has 4 fouls, and then there's no game to come back to. I think, there's been plenty of times he's played with foul trouble, and we've been able to succeed. And, he's a veteran guy, so just you roll the dice, and, it's whoever ends up doing the best on that day. So you got to take chances in order to win. You can't be scared of what's going to happen. You got to make sure that you make the decisions necessary. So I thought maybe I could have put him back in a little earlier. I thought we held him off till 3.5. I mean, you wait till 2, but if you're down 6 or 7 at that point, then there's no reason to put him back in. It's going to be a harder game to maintain. So you might as well, maybe you put him back in, maybe you go on a spurt, maybe you get up, and the foul trouble doesn't become an issue.
Coach, did you expect to see as much zone in this?
I knew we would see zone. We've seen zone the whole year. This zone in particular seemed to give us a little bit more problems. All we really do is work on zone offense because nobody plays us man-to-man. I think they played us man-to-man 2 possessions and we scored or got fouled on either one of the 2. If I was a coach, I'd play a zone too. I mean, especially in a foreign environment on a big floor like this with the shooting background being as such and kids being kids. The team, and that was our game plan going in, that whoever protected the paint, whoever won the game in the paint was going to win the game, period. So why not play zone, force the team to take shots? It took us a while, and we didn't really execute our zone offense the way that we could, and it showed.
Jerry, did you think they were going to come right at you, knowing that you had 4?
I had a feeling that they were going to throw it to him on that possession, but I tried to be smart and keep my hands up. But I should have been more smart and probably just gave them that one because they was calling that foul all during the game. I think I got all 5 of them, so I could have been more smart on that one.
Coach, one of the criticisms of TO this year is that they didn't have a real go-to guy. They were so balanced that maybe they didn't need one until this point. Talk about what Tiffin did and the fact that they were so willing and so aggressive in giving him the ball so often.
I think, whenever you have a guy that you can throw the ball inside to, being a post-up presence, he's a skilled guy. You can throw the ball inside to him. He took advantage of his opportunities. There's some things that I would have liked to have done a little differently. My hat goes off to him. He scored baskets in the paint, and he didn't really make, I don't know how many jump shots he made. I know that was kind of the concern coming in, was that he could step out and score. We hadn't been beaten by a post-up guy all year, but we knew that could, Jerry's a thin guy, and we don't have big, bulky guys, and I wouldn't say he's big and bulky, but he's more of a post player. We kind of gotten away without having a post player. So, we're a we're defensively oriented team-wise, and usually we do some things to make the best out of that situation. I thought he did an excellent job, and so my hat goes off to him.
Julie, how did you feel like you guys handled the atmosphere in everything, especially early on in the game? How did you feel like you guys handled it?
I think we handled it pretty good because we came out to a good start. We let them get a few early baskets, but we had our fans on our side, so I think it was pretty even. So we just need to play a little bit harder so we could got the win.
Reggie, what about just getting Leuzinger here? I mean, you've obviously wanted to had high ambition for this program. What about?
Well, this goes back to, we've done this for 7 years, and Leuzinger definitely isn't the Westchester or the Mater Dei or the Dominguez of high school basketball. To take a school with very little tradition or legacy in 7 years to get to this point. We're very proud of what we've done. I think that we had high hopes and our goal was to win. So, you know, to sit here and say that we are happy with our performance, I lied to you because I'm really upset that we didn't win. But I mean, when two people go at it, you know, somebody's got to lose, and I thought they played well, and I thought they played hard, and there's some, you know, there's a lot of things that we could have done differently, but they were ready and they were prepared, and our guys battled, so I'm happy with that result of it.
Is that it, guys? All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Appreciate
it. Nameplates and everything.
Back here at Honda Center, it's the post-game of the CIF Southern Section Toyota Championships as Thousand Oaks, the #1 seed, defeats the #2 seed, Leuzinger Olympians, to take home their first title, the Division II AA, 59-55. And Rashawn Haylock has an interesting interview. Let's go to Rashawn.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Coach Morris. Coach, we talked a little bit about it at halftime. You guys never really got that pace going to your liking. What did Thousand Oaks do to kind of counter that?
It wasn't so much Thousand Oaks, I think. I think it was the fact that when we made them turn the ball over, we didn't score off the turnovers. When you score off the turnovers, it gives you a chance to set up your press again. It sets up the pressure and, you know, gain some momentum. So by not capitalizing, we kept playing at even. So we were gambling, trying to get turnovers, and then when we got turnovers, we didn't capitalize off of it. And then when you gamble, eventually you're going to get beat. So they were able to get some easy baskets, and we didn't have enough points banked up to take away the fact that we may give up some easy baskets.
We're so used to Donnelly being just creating all kind of havoc defensively and countering that into the offensive end. It seems like he never really got into a groove today. What did you see?
I thought he came out and tried to play hard. You know, sometimes it's just not your day. I think sometimes he's a real intense kid, and sometimes that may work against him a little bit. You love it 99% of the time, but, you know, I take him 100 days out of 100 days. So, you know, I have nothing but respect and love for him, and, you know, we'll be back to play with him again.
And Jerry fouling out in that fourth quarter. Obviously, it was the right decision to put him in. You had to put him in 3 minutes left in the game, but how did that affect you guys?
We played with him through foul trouble before. We made it out the Canyon Springs game with him and Will in foul trouble. So, you know, when you capitalize in those situations, it doesn't hurt as much. But, you know, you have to play them. Sometimes people wait too long to stick their best players back in the game and the key guys. And, you know, I thought maybe I thought that it was a good time to put him back in. 3.5 minutes is hardly anything left. You wait so long, maybe there's no game to put him back in.
It's definitely kind of a tough territory. You don't want to wait too late, and you don't want to put him in with too much time. But going forward, this has obviously done some great things for the Lawndale community. Guys, people were coming out in red and drove. Somebody mentioned to me, I didn't even know there was this many people in the city of Lawndale here at the pond tonight, or today rather. How does that make you feel as a coach, you know, getting this program to this spot?
It makes me feel good, you know, for all the times where there was no one there, for all the times that people doubted us. You know, we still have major things that we'd like to accomplish, but getting here is definitely a big accomplishment, and we appreciate all those who came out and support.
Last thing for you, Coach. This isn't the end of the road. Guys got to get ready for Tuesday. There's still more to play for. Such a deflating loss here today at Honda Center. How do you pick these guys back up and get ready to start moving forward for the state championships?
I don't know if it's necessarily me that picks the guys up. I think it's got to be your love for basketball and all the hard work that you put in to still see that there's another goal to be accomplished. There's another ring on the table. There's another prize to gain. So I think it comes down to an individual person or a team that comes together and says, you know, we're disappointed about not accomplishing one goal, but there's still other goals to accomplish. And do we want to do that, or do we want to, you know, pout and sit back and feel sorry for ourselves?
Hey, thanks a lot, Coach. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
It's Coach Reggie Morris, Leuzinger, suffering a tough loss here today, 59-55 here at Honda Center, losing to Thousand Oaks, guys. But you just heard Reggie Morris just say there's still a lot more to play for. State championships begin Tuesday. We're going to go in here in this locker room, try to grab a couple players, but for right now, we'll send it back to you.
Well, Rufus, some interesting thoughts on that interview by Rashawn Haylock, and but it's just a big game that you some balanced scoring again as you look at the unofficial stats. We'll get the official stats for you when we can, but 3 Olympians in double figures. Jerry Evans with 12, as well as Julian Wheeler, but he wasn't heard from in the fourth quarter. And 11 points by DeLon Wright. Again, just one bucket in the fourth quarter.
Just one bucket in the fourth quarter. A couple other guys just could not quite find their stroke that have been big along the way, and that's how they got here. Devontae Norton with his outside jump shooting with the threes. Larry Dennis had a big basket here and a big basket there. But the real issue was they could not penetrate inside the way they would have liked to. A little bit slow to make the adjustment. And then when they did, the outside game wasn't quite there the way that they needed for it to be in order to give themselves some breathing room. Every time they had a lead, they were not able to extend. I recall particularly in the second half and the third quarter when they had a chance to extend the lead out to 7. Instead took a jumper. It doesn't fall. We come back the other way. 1-point game, 6-point swing.
Rashawn Haylock has another guest. Rashawn, take it away.
Thanks a lot, guys, here inside the Leuzinger locker room with Julian Wheeler. Julian, that first half, you did some really good things to keep guys involved. What happened in that second half?
I just think we let the pressure get to us. They extended the zone, made us run down the clock. We couldn't fast break how we usually do, so it was giving us a lot of turnovers, and we didn't get back on defense and stop tiffing.
Being in a tough game, you guys kind of breezed through these playoffs. Being in a tough game, down the stretch, how different was it for you guys to adjust to that?
We knew it was going to be a hard game because they're number 1 seed, we're number 2, so we knew they had a good record and it was going to be a hard game. We just had to play hard so we could get the win, but it didn't go our way.
We've seen time and time again you guys will make a run, and then teams wouldn't be able to come back from that. Tonight, though, Thousand Oaks was able to answer that. How deflating was that in a sense?
We all thought that we could come back from the deficit, that we could come back and win the game, but as the time went lower, it started to get harder, and we were trying to force shots. And that's in the game. We just got to move on and play hard next week on Tuesday.
How you're talking about Tuesday? How do you guys get up and get ready for state championships coming up?
We just have to put this behind us and know that state is a bigger thing than CIF, and if we play hard, we can win the championship for that. I'll make this better.
You had a sea of red behind you guys today cheering you on. How special was that to be here on this stage and to have that Leuzinger uniform on and to see all the support that you guys had here today?
It was important because we knew that Thousand Oaks was going to have their crowd because they always have a big crowd, and we did a pep rally on Friday to bring all the fans. So it was good to us to have everyone else show support.
Hey, thank you so much for the time. Best wishes moving forward. Julian Wheeler, as he mentioned, state championships start Tuesday, so Leuzinger's going to have to get over this tough loss here to Thousand Oaks today and try to get ready and move forward. Still a lot more on the table, a lot more to be playing for these Olympians, guys. Back to you.
Back here at the Honda Center, side of the CIF Southern Section Toyota Championships, where number 1 seed Thousand Oaks defeats number 2 seed Leuzinger's Olympians 59-55. Let's go over some final stats here. Shooting for the Leuzinger Olympians in the game, 30 out of 54 for 37%. From beyond the arc, the Olympians only 3 out of 19 for almost 16%, and 12 out of 15 from the free throw line for 80%. For the victorious Thousand Oaks Lancers for the game, shooting from the floor, 21 out of 49 for 42.9%, so there's a big number there. Also from beyond the arc, 4 out of 12 for 33.3%, and from the foul line, just 13 out of 20 for 65%. And rebounds on the game, it was the Lancers with 34 and the Leuzinger Olympians with 31 turnovers. The Lancers had 18 turnovers, 13 for the Olympians, and assists, it was the Olympians with 7 and the Lancers with 10. And the leading scorers on the night, it was 24 points for Alex Tiffin and 12 points for Antonio Lopez, and 11 points for Chris Carter, and 3 points for James Whalen, 3 points for Austin Solomon with 1 3-pointer in that one, 2 points for Michael Taxter, and 4 points for Chad Kinsey. For the Olympians, 12 points for Jerry Evans and for Julian Wheeler, 11 points for DeLon Wright. Also on the scoring sheet, 6 points for Larry Dennis and 5 points for Akil Quinn. 3 points for was that was Akil Quinn with 3 points, I should say, and 6 points for Donley Minor. And rebounding, 7 for Jerry Evans, 3 for Devontae Norton, and 6 rebounds for William Overton, 1 rebound for Larry Dennis, also 1 for Akil Quinn, 4 rebounds for DeLon Wright, also Julian Wheeler with 4, and 2 rebounds for Donley Minor in that one. Leading rebounders for the Lancers, 7 apiece, 3 of them with 7, Michael Taxter and Chad Kinji, and also Alex Tiffin getting his season average of 7 rebounds and a final score. Anything you can break down out of that, Rufus?
Wow, well, we talked about it before. I think the big thing, 2 things, when you went through the scoring and stand out, Donley Minor with only 6 points in the game. That's a huge one. The second one, again, was points off of turnovers, created 18 turnovers, only got 10 points out of the 18, probably needed to be and should have been, quite frankly, up closer around the 12 to 14-point range on those turnovers. And those were the 2 main things that didn't work for them. The one other thing that I saw was on the assist total, and Leuzinger only had 7 assists on the night, and that's an extremely low total. Wasn't for lack of effort. A number of those attempts at assists were turned into turnovers because they did have 13 of their own. But again, at the end of the day, a little too much Thousand Oaks for them on this particular matchup. But those are the kinds of things that's what Reggie will look at this stuff. They'll go into practice on Monday because you can't practice on Sunday. But on Monday, they'll go into practice and they'll start to work out some of the kinks.
And a lot of that can be attributed to the spread zone defense by Thousand Oaks. Just really put the kibosh and put the cork in the bottle of the octane of the Leuzinger offense.
And you're exactly right. And the thing about it, not only the zone defense did that, when they did attempt to go inside, that was when you had Tiffin, the big man, I mean, just a beast down inside, knocking everything away. And that was a part of what made the difference, because Minor and Norton and Larry Dennis, those guys thrive on driving the baseline and baseline layups. And boy, after he got a couple of blocks, you know, folks started to back away and try something a little bit different. So that was another thing that affected the outcome.
Now it's time for our player of the game at the CIF Southern Section Choita Championships and the Division IIAA Championships. And Rufus, you pick the Leuzinger Olympians MVP.
I think, well, and this is interesting, boy, there are so many guys, but for me, today, the guy who gave the, I won't say the best effort, but his contributions were extremely valuable and made it a game for them, to me, was Julian Wheeler, all the way around. Jerry didn't get untracked as he would have liked, although he was one of the leading scorers, but Wheeler just was everywhere and gave his heart in trying to keep this thing going for him, and he's my choice as a player of the game.
All right, so Julian Wheeler is the Leuzinger Olympians player of the game. Julian with 12 points and 4 rebounds. Also didn't have any assists and had 1 block and 1 steal. So Julian Wheeler is our Olympian player of the game. And on the other side, no question for the Lancers.
Sometimes it's easy.
He's going to be back next year, too.
Wow. Wow.
So
and he's going to be back next week.
That's true. That's true. But I tell you, the trainer for the Lancers was just salivating because I can't wait to get this kid in the summertime. Yeah. You think he's big now? Wait till I get done with him.
Absolutely. No, he played well, and he really was when it's all said and done. You talk about one guy being the difference. As good and as talented as the Thousand Oaks team is, at the end of the day, Tiffin was the difference.
And Alex Tiffin is our player of the game for the Thousand Oaks Lancers, the #1 seed, winning the Division IIAA Championship 59-59. Well, what do you think? 59-55, I should say. What do you think, pal?
Well, I think to Tuesday, and that's what I want the fans to remember, to Tuesday, we'll put a bow tie on it because we're going to suit them back up, and we're going to be somewhere. We'll know tomorrow where we're going to be, and then on Tuesday, fans, you'll be there and be able to see it. I know you're going to come out and join us. So I'm excited. I'm hurting inside, but I'm truly excited that the season goes on.
Well, let me talk to you about this. Let me interview you here. 21 years it took you to get to the finals. How do you feel?
Well, it's a wonderful feeling. It's bittersweet. I mean, everybody wants to go home a winner, but, you know, I've been around athletics long enough, Lou, as a fan and sitting here as an announcer and as a coach even for years. You understand somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. It's always painful, but you know what? The sun rises again tomorrow. And, you know, for guys who are 16 and 17, they won't see it that way right now. But when it does come up in the morning, and once they're convinced that they're playing on Tuesday, they'll be okay. I mean, the sting won't go away for a while, but they'll be fine. I'll be fine. And guess what? The rest of the crew here, because this hasn't been just a personal journey. For me, it's been a journey for Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 60, come Channel 22. And, again, they were here when nobody else was. And I think it's a crowning moment for Mike Galarza, Tom Strickfaden, and all the other folks over the years who helped this station grow into what it is and to be one of the premier, I believe, and recognized community access channels that it is. And I just feel fortunate to have been a part of it for so long.
Well, thank you for letting me play in your sandbox for the last 4 or 5 years. Appreciate that.
It's been fun.
All right.
And the best is yet to come.
That's right. We got, well, you're full of music today. The sun will come out tomorrow. The best is yet to come. Well, let's, why don't we put a bow on this one,
it's
shall
time.
we? All right. I'm going to put a bow on this one. It's a silver bow with red, white, and blue for the Olympians. As the 5 rings, they stayed together but just couldn't get over the top of the Lancers. Coming down to that final buzzer with the Lancers winning the Division II AA championship at the CIF Southern Section Toyota Championships, 59-55. For Rufus Washington, Rashawn Haylock, and Beto Duran and the terrific Channel 22 sports crew, this is Lou Stowers saying the sun will come out tomorrow. So long.